Hey folks, and welcome to today's review. We're reviewing the Beginner's Blanket Tutorial by Bago de Crochet. The link is in the description below. And today we're making this beautiful blanket. Isn't that pretty? Look at those colors. I think it looks like jelly beans. It's a very spring color way going on here. We use Lion Brand's big ball. This thing's like as big as my head. Look, I'm like, well, yarn lady. It's Lion Brand's Cover Story. It is 547 yards, 100% polyester, and it washes beautifully. Machine wash and dryable. I recommend just drying it air dry because it is polyester. It loses its softness. It's a super bulky 6 and it recommends a 9mm. I used a 10. The video also recommends a 10, but a 9 can work just as well. Any yarn can actually work for this project. You can make it any size you want. It's very versatile and you can use any color. So it doesn't have to look like a jelly bean bowl like mine does. The nice thing about this video and this pattern is that it's just the video. There is no pattern included because it's so easy to follow. It's only a 9-minute long video, which is really nice that you can rewind and replay as much as needed if you're new to this. But if you're advanced, you can just watch it once, decide what you want to do, and follow along. It's mentioned that it's only going to take you a couple of hours to make this. It took me 4.5. It's not long at all. I did not have 4.5 hours blocked off in a day. Who does? But it actually was a start and stop process. I time myself. Sometimes I forgot to hit the stop button and drink my coffee. And sometimes I forgot to hit the start button after going to the bathroom. So it really does even out to about 4.5 hours, depending on your speed. I worked relatively slow. Again, because I start and stopped, I didn't have a fast pace or steady pace. So it was a bit slower. I think this blanket would be perfect for any crocheter, either an advanced or a beginner. The beginners can learn to count their numbers. To count their numbers because you don't know how to count. No, to count their stitches. So that way you learn that each row has the same amount of stitches. It also teaches you about the edging and how to make that edge nice and smooth. If your first one doesn't turn out nice and smooth, you can look up another tutorial about adding an edge just to round this off very nicely for your first blanket. But you do learn to make this nice straight edge the more and more you practice with it. It also teaches you how to keep your blanket actually looking like a square because you're counting your blocks. You'll also learn your tension to retain the same tension as you go. And again, we'll make that square. Now, mine's a rectangle because mine ended up being, instead of the 36 by 36, it came to be 36 by like 48. So it is more of a rectangle. It could possibly have been my tension. It can also be because I use a size 10 hook, and maybe the size 10 hook that she used actually runs a different brand than mine is, which is possible. Mine was a plastic hook and hers was a metal. And again, tension plays a lot of role in that as well. This is also a great blanket for advanced crocheters. You can just sit back and watch your favorite show or watch your kids like I did, or drink, and you don't have an issue of crocheting it because it's just such an ease to do. I've actually made quite a few blankets doing this in the past, this type of repeating double and single crochet pattern, because it is so simplistic, but it does add a nice variance to just the same stitch all across. I've also made it in different sizes. So I've made it smaller to be more of a baby blanket, like a lovey. And then I've also made it bigger to be a big couch blanket, so it covers my whole body. And the nice thing about this material is it has holes in it, so you're not super sweating. You can actually stick your fingers in. Your toes won't get caught, but yet you actually have air flowing through, so you're not sweating and it's breathing. But again, it's super snuggly. It's super thick and soft with this yarn. Again, you can use any yarn you want. You can use any size you want. Like I said, I've done it in multiple sizes and colors, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to review this for you to say, hey, this is something that anybody can do, and to let you know, like, yes, the thumbs up. Would I make this again? Yeah, definitely. I have made it in the past. I would make this again just because I absolutely love this material. I love the way that it washes, and it can be reused and reused and reused. I would recommend it being air dried instead of in the dryer, because the dryer, if the heat's on it at all, or even the friction, causes it to be less soft. You go from this big ball of yarn to this blanket, and I only had this much yarn left. And then I thought that was pretty awesome that I used most of this yarn up. I mean, this thing's huge. Look how big this thing is. I mean, it's huge. I can wear it as, no, it's too heavy because it's so much yarn. But to only have this much left, I mean, most people are like, wow, because you don't know what to do with this much yarn anyway. Use it as stuffing. Make it and crochet it into a square. Use it as a duster. You can, if you don't use it as stuffing, you can crochet a ball out of it and the kids can throw it around. Or the cat. If your cat likes yarn, give the ball to them. The only problem I have as far as cons with all of this is with the yarn itself. So this big ball of yarn, you think, oh, there's just a continuous amount of yarn. I'm going to have any issues making this blanket. Wrong. I don't know about you, but I had immense amounts of issues with this yarn. And the main reason is there were so many breakages. Like I had to start and stop so many times because there was just like, they spliced the yarn back together with a knot and that was it. So there was ends everywhere and it was terrible. Now on a project where you're making small, it works, but this project is continuous. I don't want to have to start and stop. I don't have to weave in ends. I want the beginning end and the tail end, and that's it. I don't want any other ends to do. That's why I bought a big ball of yarn, right? So you don't have to deal with that. Does anyone else have that problem with this yarn? Am I the only one? Leave a comment below and let me know if it's just me or I just got a bad one. I don't know, but it's beautiful color. It's fun. I think it looks like jelly beans, like in a bowl. Like it's just a fun, bright, vibrant color. But the yarn, I don't know. I've used other Bernat yarns or other blanket yarns like this that don't have this much breakage. So that's my only con. But as far as it on a whole, I totally recommend this. And you should go buy some yarn and make it yourself. Have a great day. If there's anything else that you want me to review, leave it in the comments below and I'll get to it as soon as possible. I really look forward to making this channel and growing with you and making reviews of things that you actually want to make in different colors that you want to see. So that way you know whether or not you actually want to make it. This blanket definitely would make again. Thanks everybody.